Lydia, no! Do not throw that bus.
Lydia, I got it! No, they're too far away. Do not throw that bus!
I can't hear you because I'm literally throwing a bus!
Tú, con los dos sacos largos. Llegaba el agua al restaurante. Había subido la marea.
Dads, that lady just threw a bus.
Tú.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I don't think there's many people that will be surprised to hear that Melissa McCarthy and her absolute abomination of a film, Thunderforce, was terrible. I mean, I have seen some awful movies. I mean, truly awful. But Melissa McCarthy has now been connected to two of the worst movies I have ever seen. Now, I can't pretend to be surprised. I can't say, oh my God, what? Oh, I thought this movie, it's not like anything is shocking, because if you look at the original trailer for Thunderforce, Melissa McCarthy, of course, plays Melissa McCarthy. Ha ha ha, I'm kind of fat and I'm clumsy. Ha ha ha. And Octavia Spencer plays a role that the only reason she could have possibly taken it was for the money, because I think she's an excellent actress. I thought, was she in Mama? I think she was in Mama. It's very good in that role. Obviously, she's been in some more serious films too. But this movie has completely tanked. And it is one thing that I really wish, this is the perfect time where I really miss theatrical releases. Because there's no way that this film wouldn't have been in the theaters, and it would have been so bad. Just to give you an idea, even the critics hate it. 24% from the critics. Actually, let me refresh this to see if this changed. 25% from the audience. Let's see what some of the audiences has said. 1 star, time I'll never give back. This one says, this is just poor. It has all the comedy beats that were appropriate in 1992. Have you seen Leonard Part 6? You should if you want a more interesting movie. 1/2 a star, don't waste your time. Movies like Thunder Force are why I canceled my Netflix account. They need to do better. This was a waste of time and energy. Part of the sad reality of this particular film is that it's a big budget film probably for Netflix, and this could have been spent on like actually good movies. I mean, even the people who, you know, Two Stunning and Brave Women fighting crime, they aren't giving it up. They aren't giving this movie a pass. Netflix's Thunder Force is a wake-up call for Melissa McCarthy to find a director other than her husband. The ineffable essence of a cinema du Ben Falcone. The director, writer, producer, and actor is a tricky, wily player in the arena of big screen. As the husband and creative partner of Melissa McCarthy, Falcone has directed the 3 worst films of his wife's career: Tammy, The Boss, Life of the Party. Oh, those are what he directed. Okay. But is also a pretty decent one, last fall's Superintelligence, which found the sweet spot of balancing the actress's intensely likable energy and edgy comic rhythm. By that logic, Falcone and McCarthy's 5th and latest collaboration, Thunder Force, should represent a progression of sorts. It's certainly got a neat enough hook in a world where superpowers have been bestowed only on a few select sociopaths, which I don't understand. Scientist Octavia Spencer plans to fight back by giving regular people the power of super speed and super strength. But, wow, so creative. But after Emily's estranged high school BFF, Lydia, is accidentally injected with the prototype, the odd couple must team up to save the world from a Trumpian supervillain. Oh, look, I just got a text. The movie sucked. Yeah. I mean, is that how we're going to do it things now? Like every bad character ever has to be Drumpf. Okay, there is potential, especially given that superintelligence, which focused on a malevolent computer program bent on destroying the world, operated with a similar high concept. But with the exception of a few demented scenes teleported over from a Stranger Better comedy, mostly involving Jason Bateman's bad guy who has crab claws instead of arms. Jason Bateman, have you ever seen a role that you've turned down? Anyway, Thunderforce is as sloppy and disappointing as the label of a Ben Falcone film previously suggested. I don't know how he pronounces it. I mean, the effects in this movie are just terrible. And you know what I think is interesting? When you look at the trailer, I think Netflix bought a bunch of likes here. 4.2 thousand dislikes to 47,000 upvotes. Are you crazy? If you look at some of when Netflix has you on contract and be like, play a crab person or a hidden gem, invisibility, an introvert stream, okay, whatever. For frick's sake is this. The whole production budget to charity next time. Melissa McCarthy playing the same role every movie. Boring now, and this movie sucked big time. The look at me, I'm fat and clumsy shtick is getting old now. This is how I imagine the world sees me and my friends. Worst movie I have seen pretty much ever. They tried to make jokes. Almost every line was a joke, but none of them landed. 2 times when I laughed was out of confusion regarding 2 crab-related scenes, so I guess I will count those 2 as jokes landed. Absolute waste of time. Looks like another a dud. If I actually go to this trailer and I go to like recent ones, hate Melissa McCarthy. She ruined Ghostbusters. Hope this is terrible at Netflix too. Well, it did. Painful to watch. Melissa, please. Away, always in the same every role. Sad. Used to love her, now bored. It gets a 5 out of 10 because it had some funny moments. We need fat shaming back. This is getting ridiculous. Peak cringe. This was like a fake trailer from Funny People. It's Melissa McCarthy was a fat, unfunny spy. Then she was a fat, unfunny cop. Now Melissa McCarthy is a fat, unfunny superhero, and she's about to find out what being a fat superhero is harder than it looks. I mean, there are some people in here. Love this. It was so funny. It really made my night. I don't know if they're buying these negative comments because, and it sucks because I don't necessarily have anything against Melissa McCarthy. I liked her in that sitcom, Mike and Molly. I thought she was good in that. But her movie career has been basically terrible. I actually liked The Heat, to be honest with you, but I think that's probably because Sandra Bullock is like a national treasure, and they seem to actually have some genuine chemistry in that film. But there was absolutely no chemistry between Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy whatsoever. And even every single review, the Melissa McCarthy verse falls flat at phase 1. We read this review: stop doing films with your husband. Melissa McCarthy, please stop making bad movies with your husband. The superstar may feel more comfortable with Ben Falcone, but when other directors push her, she takes flight. Well, I mean, look, there's not a bad there are probably positives, like financially, to working with him, where they take probably a lion's share of the money. But you could see this in the past few months. 2 new McCarthy Falcone joints have arrived on our screen. Superintelligence, which debuted on HBO Max on Thanksgiving, and Thunderforce, which is now on Netflix. The former was once scheduled as a Christmas theatrical release, a slot benefiting McCarthy's star status, but even before the lockdown, it was downgraded to a streaming release. And while HBO doesn't release numbers for individual movies, a recent report from Variety and analytics firm TV Vision suggests that even on that platform, Superintelligence completely tanked, with less than a quarter of the audience of Wonder Woman 1984. Netflix is even more of a black box than HBO Max, so it's likely we'll never have a clear sense of whether Thunder Force was a hit or a flop, or somewhere in between, but the movie itself is a dud. An action comedy directed by somebody without an eye for either action or comedy. It is an absolute... it just sucks because, like, I want good movies. People want good movies, but these movies need to tank, right? They need to be absolute flops. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting them. And you know what? Individual like film studios need time to catch up. Indie filmmakers need time to get caught up. I think we're living in a time, quite frankly, where independent movie makers are going to have a real chance to compete with some of these Hollywood blockbusters because people are getting tired of cape stuff and people are getting tired of, Star Wars. And maybe there'll be a renaissance in like indie films. And I think that would be great. I mean, the money they probably spent to pay Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer's in the multi-millions, they could have funded 100 better movies, but instead they put this garbage out. Not surprised. Keep putting out garbage, Hollywood. Keep failing. Every penny you lose brings deep joy to my heart. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.